show that focuses on your personal financial journey and the markets around us. That's Dollars and Cents, Thursday afternoons at 4, here on WSIC.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Welcome to Community Centered, a show that features people in the community doing good things. Now, here are your hosts, Debbie O'Handley and Margi Kyle.
Welcome, welcome. Margie, can you hear me?
I can hear you. No, I can't.
I know. What's going on with this
I don't
microphone?
know.
Joe Berg, we're having a little... You can hear it? Okay, awesome. Happy Tuesday. Maybe we're a little... Yes, happy Tuesday.
I found this on Facebook.
Okay, that's us.
And I thought, I'm going to print this out.
That's about how it's going today. So
and laminate it because that's you.
Yeah, that is... Well, not exactly, but yeah, kind of. Well, Margie, how are you?
Well, I'm cooler now. I've had no air since Thursday.
Say it isn't so.
It was.
Oof.
You could have come over and melted with me.
Don't like that.
No. And I lost one more friend.
Lord have mercy.
For those of you out there that knew Tom and Ann Dutton, Tom died.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And he was just such a beautiful man.
I think maybe our guest today can anoint you or give you a blessing
I
or a
need
prayer
it.
or something. You've had some losses here in the last few weeks, I think we need to change the energy for you about
Well, I
that.
think now that I have some cool air coming in my place, I'll
Get
change
good
my
energy.
attitude.
That a girl.
Yeah,
That's
need
the way
to change
do
my
it.
attitude.
So what's new?
Well, other than being a little cool now,
Yeah.
because it was one day it got up to about 85, and I
Inside
thought,
the house?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's nice and warm in here.
That is not cool.
So I invited myself to my son's house for dinner.
That's the way to do it. That's for sure. Well, first off, we want to give a shout out to the McIntosh Law Firm for presenting us. They are located in Davidson, and I believe every attorney in that office has to be involved in their community in some way, whether it's with a non-for-profit or whether it's a give back in some way. So Bob makes sure that his attorneys are out and have a finger and a pulse on what's happening in our community, and we love that about them. So they are...
And we do have their bingo information, which
That's
is
right.
August 27 from 4 to 6
I believe that...
at the Davidson Cotton Mill.
And I believe that supports the Alzheimer's
Alzheimer's,
Association.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. But the McIntosh Law Firm believes that an attorney's success is measured by how the families, businesses, and communities they represent succeed. And Bob is a man of his word, and love that he sponsors us and
Yes.
promotes us. And so we're here to talk to non-for-profits and anybody else that can put hope back in the headline for us. So I want to just give a little shout out to a young lady that came to Hope House yesterday.
What did she do to your hand?
Yeah, so her name is Chitra, and she has started a non-for-profit called Flourish with Mehendi. And I didn't know what that was, so she came and she educated the ladies and myself about henna and henna tattoos, and so she gave everyone a henna tattoo. And so here's mine. I don't know if you can
that's
see
neat.
it.
I love that.
But as we were talking about I'm going to be a glamour in October.
That's right.
And she said in Indian culture, in the henna, what they do is they will weave the name of the bride or the groom within the picture or an upcoming baby's initials. So somewhere in this design is what I think my soon-to-be granddaughter's initials are. And it's just kind of cool to have that on
is
there.
that
And
forever?
no, it will go away in about 2 to 3 weeks.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it'll go away in about 2 to 3 weeks, but it's a culture, it's a custom, it's something different, and her non-for-profit is designed to bring joy. And so
That's beautiful.
sitting around this table yesterday with 9 women who were at Hope House, it wasn't everybody, but the 9, they were laughing, they were giggling, it kind of tickles when it's going on. So it brought a lot of joy and brought us together as a community. And so I just want to thank you, Chitra, for what you did. And I was thinking about Little Smiles, about how fun that would be at the
Yes.
nurse's station or
We
to-
do have the tattoos that you can put on that
Yeah,
wash off.
she did on the some of the young kids
Yeah.
at Hope House. She did a butterfly. She did some hearts and things like
You know,
that.
my grandson, years ago, found a pen and drew Grammy's legs on his leg. I had a few veins, I still do. And that was his tattoo.
Oh my goodness!
I
Well,
said to my daughter, he's disinherited.
you know what was interesting with this henna tattoo was that some of the ladies who have tattoos were afraid of this, which is essentially
Much easier.
crushed leaves and crushed flowers mixed with yogurt and some essential oils. And
I think Joe should take a picture of
I
it.
said it doesn't hurt at all, but yet you were more willing to put a needle on your arm than you were something like this.
Yeah.
But it was the unfamiliarity with it and the fact that it looked like something
I
different.
bet she'd
So-
have fun at the hospital with the kids.
Absolutely, that's what I was thinking of, and
Yeah.
she's open to doing that. She is a junior at Lake Norman Charters, and she wants to study aerospace design.
Oh my gosh.
So, kind of a cool young lady.
Aim
and I think,
high.
yeah, you know, like we do these face paintings and things like that. Why not do this? So, I now have this on my hand. I keep looking at myself, going, "What have I done?" Oh, yes, I did that. So that was my day
What
yesterday.
fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And I am about to leave shortly to head to DC for my daughter's baby shower. So we're
Aw.
excited to switch roles from being the executive director of Hope House to being a glamour. So
And it's such a wonderful job.
it's an exciting time. It's a nerve-wracking time. We've had a couple. She's now has gestational diabetes, so prayers for her. And we call the baby Little Sassy because we've seen a personality in the ultrasound already. So exciting times, but also you're just nervous too
Sure.
for all the changes. So, you know, it's funny. She sent me a little meme about. It was it said, "Here's my parents practicing for an interview for the grandparents role after 32 years of not being a parent. How do you think they're going to do?" I said, "I have to interview for this role." So anyway, we're excited about that. I'm equally
We
as excited.
have a great show
I
today.
am excited about our guest today.
Yeah.
I know one gentleman is a mover and a shaker in little people's lives and in big people's lives with the work that he does in church and in our community. And I know they have a story to tell. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to have some follow-up to some of discussion that was done with Woody a while back about the bacteria being addressed in the lake. So excited to get updated on that and know what's happening there. So our lake is good and clean to
Yes.
go jump in the lake.
That sounds like a good idea today.
Doesn't it? There are some days when it's just, I can't get there fast enough. Just get me out there on the water and all is good.
Yep, I agree.
In our world for sure. But anyway, when we come back from break, we are going to be meeting these two gentlemen. You're going to be introducing them. And if you have any questions during our conversations, we'd love for you to call the studio at 844-STUDIO-4. Joe Berg is on standby to take your call. And we'd love to be able to be the ones to help answer your questions. So when we come back shortly, we will be having a wonderful time with our guest today. Who
And that
put
was
hope
my
in the headline?
first degree was early childhood psychology.
Wow.
Yeah.
Margie, every single time we do this, I learn something. We peel back another
That's
layer.
because I'm so old.
No, it isn't. It's because you're interesting and you're multifaceted. Like the jewels that you wear, there are many cuts and layers to you, and I think that's very cool. We'll be back shortly on Community Centered.
Macintosh Law presents Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle. Coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, starting off our Tuesday with a few passing showers possible across the Lake Norman area. Otherwise, we're mostly cloudy this morning, then getting some sunshine back as we get into the afternoon. An isolated shower or a quick downpour still isn't out of the question. A little cooler today. High temperatures climb into the low 80s for this afternoon. Tonight we'll fall back down into the mid and upper 60s for our Wednesday and Thursday. Look to be dry days of weather with high temperatures in the mid 80s. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses, like Top Notch Gutters of Statesville.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Langtree Live in Mooresville continues their free Thursday concert series with the Rocky Lynn Band on August 15th. Rocky brings his original and patriotic country music performance to Langtree Lake Norman off exit 31 from I-77. Grab your lawn chairs, set up your spot on the grass, eat and drink at the restaurants and pubs of Langtree, and enjoy the Rocky Lynn concert Thursday at 7 p.m. RevFast in Mooresville presents Hot Rods and Hops on Friday night. This monthly gathering for the car, truck, and motorcycle communities begins at 6 p.m. Food trucks and Hoptown Brewing will be on hand for eats and drinks. Bring your classic or new hot rod out and come make some new friends. RevFast Detail Shop in Mooresville presents Hot Rods and Hops on Friday night. The Cookout Monster Truck Bash is at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway this Saturday. Sparks will fly as the metal-bashing 2,000 horsepower machines return for a night of high-flying action on the planet's most diabolical outdoor course. Gates open at 4 p.m. Bring a Cookout Cup for a free early access to the pit party beginning at 3:30. Pit party includes monster truck rides, inflatable slides, bounce houses, face painting, an autograph session, and souvenirs. Opening ceremonies will begin at 7. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com or the CMS app for information and details. Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville rocks their parking lot this Sunday with a concert by Black Glass. Waves Entertainment brings their stage and sound to Ghostface for a show by Carolina's premier rock and roll cover band. The brewery will be open to serve their full kitchen and draft beer menus. Rock the Lot begins at 5 p.m. Bring your chairs for a good seat at the 6 p.m. Black Glass concert at Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville this Sunday. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
All community, all the time. Macintosh Law presents Community Centered on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. I am very excited to introduce our two guests, taking me way back to what I started doing that my father said, "You'll never make a living at this," but I did. Mm-hmm. And we have Reverend David Judge and Bob Menzel. Did I say that correctly?
You did just fine. Thank you very much.
And how do they say that down south?
Menzel.
Menzel, okay.
Yes.
So, and you are with Cornelius Early Scholars.
Yes, that's correct.
I love what you're doing.
Well, thank you so much.
Your mission just is spot on.
It is God-inspired.
Yes.
Absolutely. It all got started a few years ago when I was having a conversation with Jessica Holbrook, who's the elementary school principal at Cornelius Elementary.
Okay.
And we as a church do a lot of work with the school, and she told me that 1 out of 4 kids who come to kindergarten are unprepared for kindergarten.
That's right.
And I asked her, what do you mean by that? And she says they can't count to 20, they don't know the ABCs, they may have never held a book, never held a pencil and paper, and things that are just so foreign to us. And so the Lord laid it on my heart that something had to be done for these children. It took a few years to get to
going.
it, but then it really came to life last year. We had
as I was
inaugural
studying
year.
more about this, I love the fact that you educate the parents as well.
Absolutely.
Because you can't just teach the kids.
Yeah.
They've got to reinforce what you're doing at home.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Bob, you can jump in anytime on this that you want to.
Well, Lisa and I, my wife Lisa and I, we've been involved with a ministry down in Charlotte called Brookstone Schools for a long time.
Okay.
Which also targets a specific community in Charlotte with Christian, Christ-centered education. And we've always believed, and we got so excited when we heard that this was launching last year, because getting kids the proper foundation academically is critical to their success in life, but it's also critical that they have a knowledge of God and the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And when we heard what David and the volunteers were doing over in what we call Old Town Cornelius, it was like, wow, this is really great, because these children were literally showing up over at Cornelius Elementary, and they were having to spend 3, 4, 5 months just getting them ready to be in kindergarten.
Okay.
This program is actually preparing them so they can arrive at kindergarten prepared to get started on day one. It's truly an awesome ministry.
Oh,
That's absolutely
it
true.
is. It is. I love it.
And to build on what you just said, Bob, so from the academic excellence perspective is the first pillar of Cornelius Early Scholars, academic excellence. Faith-based curriculum is the second. And so it is a mission as much as it is an education. So our mission is to build a foundation of faith in Jesus Christ, as well as get these kids ready for school. And then you mentioned the parents. So
Yes.
the parents, a lot of these parents just don't have the skill set to create an educational environment at home. And so a part of the
Maybe
education.
they aren't even aware that their child has
Well, for a
is
number
not ready.
a number of these families, we talk about when a first child goes to college,
Yes.
right? This is a first child ever going to preschool. These families have not utilized preschool in the past, and so it's all new to them. And so we also look to some of the other barriers to education, because it's not just academics, but when you have issues of food insecurity, housing insecurity, we'll talk about the care center with the book bags in a moment, but they don't have the resources. And so
Yes.
we're connecting them with resources in the community so that they can overcome those barriers as well as academic, and then, of course, build the faith.
Yeah.
So there's a
Yeah.
whole lot to it. It's more than just education.
Oh, way more.
And these kids, it's such a blessing. We had our first year, started last September, and the kids all graduated in May, or the ones that did. And it's just so cute. They put on the little robes and they walk across the stage.
Yeah.
And it was just it was a dream and a
Yeah.
mission come true. It
Yeah.
was just fabulous. But
When did you start realizing this was what you wanted to do?
well, like I said, the vision came a number of years ago, but it was in May of 2022, and I was with Dr. Mike Miltic, we're
I know
good
Mike, yeah.
friends, and Mike and I were talking, and he said to me, Dave, I really want to do something for kids in Cornelius. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, Mike, I have this crazy idea for a preschool. And I shared the concept, and he said, let's see if we can make this work. And so we then established the board. We put together all the documents we needed to do. We got incorporated in September of 2022, and then it was off to the races. And within 12 months, we opened that school.
And where is the school?
Oh, the school is hosted by First Baptist Church Cornelius.
Okay.
So it's a separate 501c3, but the church graciously provides all the space at no charge.
That's wonderful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
thinking too, some of those children might have been COVID children, right? So the social component of it too.
Yes.
I mean, this is the first time, they're in a social setting with other folks as well. It's critical for their development.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. I've had a chance to go over and visit the school during the day. I mean, these are just regular little kids.
Yeah.
And they're basically having an opportunity to be with each other, but to learn and kind of get prepared for life a little bit.
That's
and if they, ultimately they would end up in kindergarten anyway, but instead of it being sort of a struggle that first year, it ends up being a real exciting
That's right.
experience for them.
That's right.
And what a difference that can make as a
Absolutely.
child begins its
Yes.
education.
Yeah.
And to avoid that struggle that you mentioned, because all the studies show that if a child is not at grade level by third grade, then the rest of their academic career and frankly the rest of their life is on a bad trajectory. And it begins because the kids come into kindergarten unprepared. They're not equal with their peers. So our role is to get those kids up to grade. And we had a 78% increase in kindergarten readiness of the first year kids, which was remarkable.
Oh, that
when-
is
Yeah,
when-
amazing.
congratulations.
when they come when they come in, we test them for kindergarten readiness, and then when they leave, we test them so we can demonstrate that we're actually having the academic effect we're looking for. And so, but that way we set their lives on a trajectory of success.
Yeah.
That's the
amazing.
mission.
What ages?
Right now, we're doing 3- and 4-year-old classes.
Okay.
We started out last year, we had just 2 classes, 1 3-year-old, 1 4-year-old. We had about 17, 18 kids. This year, we're adding another class. So we have 2 4-year-old classes and a 3-year-old class.
Wow.
Where, we walked before we ran. And so we actually may add a 4th class if we have more enrollment. So we're still taking applications for kids. We're a little bit different than a lot of the traditional preschools that want everybody enrolled before the summer. We have people enrolling on the first day.
Yeah.
So we're going to have an open house on, help me, Bob, Friday the 30th of August, I think or 29th.
It works for me.
The Friday before. And then, because opening day is the day after Labor Day. First day of school is September 3rd. So, yeah, that must be August 29th if I'm doing my math right.
Sure,
so
you are.
You're welcome to come and see the school. At 11 o'clock, I believe the open house is. And so we'd love to have you come and see what we're doing.
Oh, I think that sounds fascinating.
Tell me, is there a cost associated with going, or what does that look like financially?
Yeah, so Cornelius Early Scholars is a not-for-profit scholarship Christian preschool, and each one of those components is important. We are a 501c3, so we're not here to make profit off of these kids.
Yes.
Obviously, we're here as a charitable organization, religious, educational organization. We then are a scholarship preschool. So our focus, again, was on these children who were unprepared. Most of these children are coming from families that can't afford preschool. And so consequently, if a family is 150% of the federal poverty level or below, their child comes for free. In the first year, every child came for free.
Oh, my gosh.
In this coming year, I think there's 3 families that have a partial scholarship. So there's a sliding scale.
Yeah.
At 150%, you're free, all the way up to 200%, and it's incremental along the way. So there is a cost associated. It's a $285, I think, or $300.
It's very modest.
It's very modest, but that's not our goal. Our goal is not to have full tuition students. Our goal is to provide this education at no charge to as many children who qualify.
Fabulous.
You saw a need and you filled a hole.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's a community endeavor.
Oh.
We have a fabulous board. We have wonderful donors, and we work with other 501c3s, other charities, and we can talk about that maybe after the break.
Yeah, I was just
because
saying we'd love to help too.
Oh, well, we'd love to have you. So. The more, the merrier.
Yeah.
But we will. We can.
I think after we come back from the break, we should find out how we can get a hold of you too.
Oh,
Make
yeah,
sure that
absolutely.
you give us that information.
Well, I'm a pretty easy guy to find, I have to tell you. I'm all around town here and there with different hats on. So.
You are.
And if you want to visit the website, it's CorneliusEarlyScholars.org.
Okay.
CorneliusEarlyScholars.org.
That's fabulous.
good.
Thank you
Beautiful.
so much for that. I know there's probably people out there that are panicking,
Absolutely.
thinking about back to school, what that's going to look like for their families. So this is a timely time to have you as our guest on here because you're going to fill a need.
Yeah.
Probably get some phone calls too.
I hope so.
Hopefully.
Yes.
We hope so. We hope so.
Definitely. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about how you can get in touch with you and how we can get a little bit more information out of you about what Cornelius Early Scholars is going to do for our little people.
I love it.
I do too.
Our blessed little ones.
Yeah.
Blessed
into that.
little ones. They are, aren't they?
They are.
They are a blessing for sure. We have a few of them at Hope House right now, so pray for us. They are a blessing.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that too, because some of our children, a lot of our children are referred in by other
Yes,
organizations. And so, we
absolutely.
can talk about that as well.
Absolutely.
Because we're still taking applications.
So I wrote it down. I'm taking notes. So. I just moved a family in who I think we're going to we're going to talk.
Very good.
Good.
Stay with us. We'll have more of Community Centered presented by Macintosh Law with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle coming up on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, starting off our Tuesday with a few passing showers possible across the Lake Norman area. Otherwise, we're mostly cloudy this morning, then getting some sunshine back as we get into the afternoon. An isolated shower or a quick downpour still isn't out of the question. A little cooler today. High temperatures climb into the low 80s for this afternoon. Tonight we'll fall back down into the mid and upper 60s for our Wednesday and Thursday. Looking to be dry days of weather. High temperatures in the mid 80s. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
DrumLandscapeSupply.com. DrumLandscapeSupply.com. DrumLandscapeSupply.com.
Honey, what are you doing?
Oh, I figured if I rubbed my lawn and said DrumLandscapeSupply.com, I'd have the dream lawn I've always wanted.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshlawFirm.com.
If you're a builder and you haven't went to Little Shaver's Wood Shop, you're missing all types of lumber products, hard-to-find woods, and paneling materials that are in stock and ready to help you conquer anything the job throws your way. Locally owned, Little Shaver's Wood Shop has a friendly, knowledgeable staff to get you in, out, and on with your day. Little Shaver's Wood Shop, 3301 Salisbury Highway in Statesville. Little Shaver's Wood Shop, LILshavers.com.
Are you in constant pain, under constant stress? Just need a moment away? Repeat after me. Serenity Now Massage Therapy. SerenityNowMassageAndWellness.com, with locations in Mooresville and Cornelius.
Is your AC ready for the summer? Horn Heating and Air Conditioning is in the Lake Norman area to make sure Mother Nature is no match for your system. Experience the feeling of awe. HornHVAC.com. Schedule your maintenance today.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. A weak U.S. housing market is having a big impact on a major U.S. retailer. Now, despite posting an earnings beat from Home Depot last quarter, the soft U.S. housing market is pushing that do-it-yourself chain to predict sales will slump for the rest of this year by as much as 4%. And it lowered its sales forecast. But on Wall Street, there was good news today about inflation, and that has stocks much higher. Producer prices, what goods makers pay for things, rose by less than expected in July. And with tomorrow's consumer price index out, right now the Dow is up nearly 1%, the S&P 1.5% higher, the NASDAQ up 2.25%. Google today taking aim at Apple and Samsung, rolling out a new lineup of Pixel artificial intelligence-fueled smartphones, smartwatches, and earbuds. And Coca-Cola teaming up with the maker of Oreos on some new products, including a red, black, and white Coke-flavored Oreo cookie and an Oreo-flavored Coke Zero soda. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Now back to Community Centered, presented by McIntosh Law, only on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. You're listening to Community Centered. I'm your host, Debbie O'Hanley, with my friend Margi Kyle and our two friends, David Judge and Bob Menzel. So we were talking during the break about some really interesting demographics and statistics that you can shout off, David, about where these children are coming from that are using the services.
Yes.
Yeah, certainly. So the majority of the children are coming from the Cornelius area. We've got a couple from Davidson, a couple from Huntersville, but most of them are right here in town. And I was sharing with you earlier that when I was on the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School Equity Committee, we had a map of every neighborhood in Mecklenburg County. And they broke those neighborhoods, and there was 560 or so neighborhoods, and they broke them down into thirds: the highest socioeconomic, the middle socioeconomic, and the lowest socioeconomic levels. In the Lake Norman region, as you would imagine, everybody was the highest or the middle.
Yeah.
With the exception of one neighborhood, and it was the neighborhood right around Cornelius Elementary. It was basically from 21 to 115 along that Catawba Avenue corridor and south, basically down towards Washam Potts.
Okay.
And it is one of the highest poverty level areas in Mecklenburg County. And people just don't think that. Because when you think of Lake Norman and you think of Cornelius in particular, you think of money, frankly.
lake, yeah.
You don't think of poverty. And for folks who don't travel from this side of the highway to that side of the highway, it's eye-opening if you drive around through some of those neighborhoods over there.
It is. I think of Linda, who started Bridge of Hearts, or it was originally Bright Blessings, and she talks about the need at Cornelius Elementary to see that children weren't having a birthday celebration. And so I think that folks forget that there is, we're typically thought of as an affluent area, just like people don't want to talk about homelessness, right? But I can tell you in Cornelius, where there are camps and where there are folks that are living homeless are living, we just don't want to talk about that.
That's
or
right.
recognize that that is a problem for us. And so I appreciate that you can service an area like that for kids that normally wouldn't have an opportunity. So you have filled a great need in our future.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great point, because one of the things that our faith teaches us is the story that Jesus talked about, where this person's walking down the road and there's a person laying in the road who has a real need, but the person walks by who is supposed to be the upright, good person, and then a person who's more of just a regular everyday person who maybe is even looked down by people in his community, actually stops to help this person and make sure that he's going to be cared for. And the really encouraging news about our community is we are filled more with those kind of people, that if they understand the need, they recognize what it is and what's needed. It's just amazing. We've seen it with Cornelius Early Scholars. We've seen it with so many things in this community. If it's known, and we thank you for the opportunity to make one of these best kept secrets in Cornelius more well known through your show, that people will step up and become available. And I would just, as an aside, really encourage your listeners that if they know of a child who would benefit from this program, it's a Monday through Thursday program. It's a half a day. It's either going to be at a very low cost or perhaps even a full scholarship, and they are going to need this preparation to go into kindergarten. Please have them get in touch with Cornelius Early Scholars.
And what is the best phone number?
You can call my number, which is 704-491-2731, and I can connect you with Margie Nance, who's our executive director, who's just fabulous, by the way.
Well, she must
with
be.
a name like that, she's got to be
She
good.
must be, right?
But no,
Give us
she
the
was
number one more time.
704-491-2731.
Okay.
And you can text or call. But back to Margie. So she was a blessing from the Lord as well. She had been the director at First Baptist Church in Mooresville for 10 years.
Okay.
She took a little time off, and then she felt the need to go back into it. And we popped up, and she came to us with all the experience. And I mean, we I don't believe could have launched if it wasn't for her.
Mhm.
And so she's just been fabulous. And so we're blessed for that. But it's funny you mentioned Bridge of Hearts because they're one of the other nonprofits
great.
that works with us.
Okay.
I said earlier it's a community endeavor.
Mhm.
And so Bridge of Hearts approached us and said, hey, we do these birthday parties for
Yes.
kids who don't
Fabulous.
have birthday. So they now come in for all the kids and do birthday parties. They also bring in hygiene items for the children.
Mhm.
And so that's very cool. We have a partnership with Angels and Sparrows.
Mhm.
And so the kids all get free lunch. Thank you to Angels and Sparrows.
Wow.
They make the lunches every day. And then our other partners at Neighborhood Care Center have a volunteer schedule where volunteers will go pick up the sandwiches and the lunches from Angels and Sparrows, bring them to
Fabulous.
Cornelius Early Scholars so the kids get a meal every day. It just works out so well. And back to the parental education piece, we have partnered with a group called Pharaoh's Parenting, which is up
Yes,
in
I
Statesville.
know that.
Okay,
Yes.
and they were introduced to us by our friends at the Exchange Club.
Yes.
So it's just amazing how
There's
all
so
of
much help in this
You are a
community.
true definition of community, right?
Yeah.
A group of like-minded people that come together to fill a goal, and you're making it happen,
Yep.
Well,
which
it's-
is amazing.
And care for each other.
Yes.
Yes.
Truly care for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was preaching to the congregation on Sunday. Jesus said, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations," and the emphasis is on that go, right?
Yes.
You're not making
That would
disciples.
be a capital G.
That would be a capital G.
And teach them,
And teach
Yes.
them.
which is exactly what this ministry is all
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. And it's so funny. So now we're just going off on a little tangent, but I am preaching this weekend on Christian education. We're Baptists, and so I'm going through our statement of faith called the Baptist Faith and Message. And one of the articles of our statement of faith is about education. And in it, we state that education is a part of our Christian heritage. And when you think about the Ivy League schools, they were all started by the Christian community.
Yeah.
Harvard was founded by the Puritans, and Yale was founded by the
Yes.
Congregationalists, and Princeton was founded by the Presbyterians, and
Yeah.
can't forget Wake Forest and the Baptists, so the Demon Deacons. So it is who we are. We're a people of faith, but we're a people of education
Yes.
and knowledge and wisdom and the true knowledge that comes from God. So
Amen.
now I'm preaching, so I'll just have to back
No,
up.
that's- you get a preacher started, and it's hard to get him to stop.
I know.
And we love him.
I'm going to stand down. from
The
here.
purpose of this show that Margie and I do is to put hope back in the headlines. And you both sound like someone who is really mission accomplished. Well done, right?
Well,
Good and
you're very
faithful
kind.
servant, right? Because when we see something that works, and it works not only with just the education and the development and the social and the emotional, all and the spiritual, it's so important because this is our future. These are our kids who have been traumatized
That's
by
right.
so much as of late and are up against a lot of obstacles. So thank you for laying the foundation for them of what being a good citizen is in our
Yes.
community for sure. I'm delighted to hear all of the good things that are happening and all the partnerships too, because everybody we realize all these nonprofits in our community, but we don't realize what a well-oiled machine we are, right? That we help each other out and offer each other
I've never
support.
lived in a community, and I've lived in many where people just, how can I help?
Right.
It's the first thing they say.
It's amazing. It
Yeah.
really is. And it does good
Yeah,
for us. Like
it does.
we say at Hope House, hope, what does that mean? It's a gift that's invisible but yet can be seen. And so you are making hope visible in our community. And that feels really good to both Margie and I, who this one leads with a smile and I lead with hope. So you're hitting all the marks here today. So I know when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about. I want an update on that lake.
Oh, sure. Be happy to
I
give
want to
you
hear about that.
just a little
and-
about that and a lot about this.
Yes, I think this has been fabulous. And again, 844-STUDIO-4 if you have any questions or you want to get the number or the contact information again, we'd love to. Joe Berg is standing by to take your call and fill in the need. That's what we're doing today. We're filling a need.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Once
And we
again.
always try to.
I think we should wear capes. What do you think?
Well, the best way to contact us still is through the website,
Okay.
CorneliusEarlyScholars.org. All right, CorneliusEarlyScholars.org. You can do an application for a new student, and you also can help by donating through the website.
Is it bilingual? Is there a Spanish
It is. Actually, we'll talk
application
about that as well because that is a huge component of what's going on at Cornelius Early Scholars.
Wonderful. When we come back, we'll touch on that for
Very
sure.
good.
Thank you.
Community Centered, presented by Macintosh Law with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle, will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, starting off our Tuesday with a few passing showers possible across the Lake Norman area. Otherwise, we're mostly cloudy this morning, then getting some sunshine back as we get into the afternoon. An isolated shower or a quick downpour still isn't out of the question. A little cooler today. High temperatures climb into the low 80s for this afternoon. Tonight we'll fall back down into the mid and upper 60s for our Wednesday and Thursday. Looking to be dry days of weather with high temperatures in the mid 80s. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Langtree Live in Mooresville continues their free Thursday concert series with the Rocky Lynn Band on August 15th. Rocky brings his original and patriotic country music performance to Langtree Lake Norman off exit 31 from I-77. Grab your lawn chairs, set up your spot on the grass, eat and drink at the restaurants and pubs of Langtree, and enjoy the Rocky Lynn concert Thursday at 7 p.m. RevFast in Mooresville presents Hot Rods and Hops on Friday night. This monthly gathering for the car, truck, and motorcycle communities begins at 6 p.m. Food trucks and Hoptown Brewing will be on hand for eats and drinks. Bring your classic or new hot rod out and come make some new friends. RevFast Detail Shop in Mooresville presents Hot Rods and Hops on Friday night. The Cookout Monster Truck Bash is at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway this Saturday. Sparks will fly as the metal-bashing 2,000 horsepower machines return for a night of high-flying action on the planet's most diabolical outdoor course. Gates 4 p.m. Bring a cookout cup for a free early access to the pit party beginning at 3:30. Pit party includes monster truck rides, inflatable slides, bounce houses, face painting, an autograph session, and souvenirs. Opening ceremonies will begin at 7. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com or the CMS app for information and details. Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville rocks their parking lot this Sunday with a concert by Black Glass. Waves Entertainment brings their stage and sound to Ghostface for a show by Carolina's premier rock and roll cover band. The brewery will be open to serve their full kitchen and draft beer menus. Rock the Lot begins at 5 p.m. Bring your chairs for a good seat at the 6 p.m. Black Glass concert at Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville this Sunday. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Macintosh Law is a proud sponsor of Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. We were just saying how this hour flew by, so we have got a lot of information to get into this segment. So let's talk first about the backpack event that I think the Neighborhood Care Center is having this Saturday.
They are. It's August the 17th. It's at Smithville Park from 4 to 7 p.m. And if you have a child getting ready to go back to school and would like to have a new backpack, the Care Center is providing those free of charge. Again, that's on August the 17th between 4 and 7 p.m. at Smithville Park.
Okay.
And I hope you'll come out and visit with everybody then.
Is amazing. I know that's Manny Rosado, and he and his staff volunteers work really hard to distribute. And I want to say there was 1,000 maybe last year that was given away. It was kind of wild.
They had a lot. They had several hundred, I know for sure, but they actually had a few left over, so we could use some more people this year to come out. You know,
and I think Little Smiles had about 200.
Yeah.
So we did a little backpack drive last night at Hope House, and we always say when we have excess, we share with Classroom Central. Classroom Central is a non-for-profit in Charlotte that literally that's all they do is distribute supplies. And you, as a preschool, could go there and get materials very nominal cost, including free, for your school. So that's a good hookup for you, Classroom
Fabulous.
Central.
Thank
And it's a huge facility and really a well-oiled machine on how they distribute everything. So that might be a good partnership for you to talk to them about getting
Absolutely.
some goodies your way. So, Mr. Menzel, what else do we need to fill our community in on all the fabulousness that we talk about during the break?
Oh, I
and
think-
never get out to
A clean lake.
A clean lake, yeah. Well, as the Reader's Digest version, because we came to talk about Cornelius Early Scholars, but the Reader's Digest version is the treatments have begun against the Lyngbia bacteria in the lake. The 5th treatment was actually scheduled to be yesterday. I think it was delayed due to the weather. We'll have a 6th one, then we'll have a final report at the end of the season. And with that, we'll kind of know how successful it was. But the initial reports are we probably have eliminated about 70 to 80% of what we knew
Yay.
about. Now, we have found some additional. So we're going to be doing treatments again next year. We're still trying to arrange funding. If people are interested in that program, the Lake Norman Marine Commission is the administrative agency for that program, and they can be reached at lnmc.org, which is like Lake Norman Marine Commission.org. But the website is lnmc.org.
That's
Beautiful.
fabulous. I love to hear that we're getting cleaned up.
Me too.
It's a
Yep.
beautiful lake, and we need that to keep
You
that as a
bet,
beautiful
you bet.
resource for ourselves. So, for our Cornelius Early Scholars, we are talking about the need in our community, which is great. What happens when the need is so great that we need to expand and build more opportunity for all of our little
Which it's going to.
scholars? Yes.
So we had our planning meeting back in February of this year, I believe it was, and we put out a 3-year plan. Our expectation is, so we're currently hosted at First Baptist Church Cornelius. They have 4 classrooms available. First year we used 2.5. This year we're using 3.5. We may end up using all 4, but at some point we know we're going to outgrow it. And so we have begun already thinking about where would we relocate to in order to have more classrooms and expand into, we've been having a lot of requests for 2-year-old. And so that's a whole nother thing when you have 2-year-olds, particularly when it comes to potty training. And then, how will we grow it? All right. So there's definite plans on our minds to continue to grow. We have been blessed by the donors. Bill and Erica Kane have been just fabulous to us. Given
Peninsula
with grace,
Community
Peninsula
Foundation.
Community Foundation, and there's individuals who have given. So we've been very well blessed by that. But yeah, we're looking forward to this continuing to grow. And the other thing that I am very hopeful for is to be able to take this to other places, other churches in particular, and say, look, this is how we did it. Here's the
That's right.
roadmap,
Good
right?
for you.
And so you have the need in your community, wherever that may be. Here's the playbook.
Yes.
Go do it. And so if we can multiply ourselves that way, it'll bring greater glory to God.
Yes.
I think that would be
Beautiful
beautiful.
mission.
We're going to join you in praying for that, right? So
All
they
right.
say
Thank
where
you
2
for
or
that.
more are gathered in his name.
Prayer
his
is,
prayers
yes, very powerful.
it's
Absolutely.
answered. So that is one thing that I would be delighted to be a part of seeing expand, because I know from, Hope House is in Huntersville, and transportation is a problem for our families. So I'd love to be able to see something nearby us. I've already got some wheels spinning. So, my board calls me the hammer. So there's a reason for that. But I think that, all children deserve this opportunity.
Yes, they do.
They truly do.
And an important aspect to saying all children is we kind of finished up the last segment, and we really do want to stress that if you go to the website, and there are all of the forms and the information, a lot of the information is available in Spanish. So we are trying to facilitate easy communication within the broader community, particularly as exists on that south side of Catawba, where there's a large Hispanic community. It's we want to make it as easy to reach out and contact the ministry as possible.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, half of the applications that we received for last school year were in Spanish. And a number of the families, the parents speak Spanish only.
Yes.
Sometimes the children are bilingual, right? And what was the cutest thing, I got to tell you, is when we had these little bilingual kids helping the kid who only speaks Spanish to learn English.
Oh, wow.
Because they were the little, communicators in
Yes.
between, and they were helping bring because we had a number of children who came who did not speak English.
Yeah.
And we were still able to accommodate them and help them along. So it's glorious.
Yeah.
It just is glorious. But, you mentioned the backpack ministry, and I think we talked about Manny Rosado just a moment ago. He is also on our board of directors.
Oh, good. Okay.
I just want to shout out Dr. Mike Miltick,
Yeah.
Rhonda Cheek, Tricia Sisson, and two of our new board members. Bob is one. He came on July 1st, as well as Tinsley Lockhart Williams. And what I'm excited about Tinsley in particular is she is the parent of a graduate from Cornelius Early Scholars. And so her son, Nico, graduated last May. And we asked her if she would come onto the board because we wanted a parent's perspective.
I think that's beautiful.
On the board. And her husband actually is a pastor in town as well. And so I know him, but it was a great addition because she can help us understand
That's
from a
right.
parent's perspective.
Yeah.
Because we're making decisions, but we're
We
you know,
talk about this all the
disjointed.
time, the voice of the impacted, right?
Yes.
If we're board members, right, and we're sitting around a table and we're discussing the needs, how do we know what the needs truly are unless we have the voice of the impacted present? And so I appreciate that you listened and you thought about the need for that because that's a very, very valid thing.
It has been a blessing. And so it's part of, just part of keeping the communication open with the parents. We have hired a person now who is bilingual. Our first year, we didn't have a bilingual person. So Manny Rosado is coming over and helping us, and he sent some folks from the care center to help us with the language barrier. But now we have one of our instructors is bilingual, so that's going to help a lot. But it's all good. So
Yeah.
We had some Spanish-speaking children at Hope House, and we all learned to speak Spanglish. It was a combo of all of it where, when you're trying to communicate, it's really hard. And, of course, at Hope House, we live together, right? They live there. So it's a whole different ballgame than just someone showing up at school. So I learned how to say no crying, no llores, right? So I can speak a little bit about all of those things that we want to give direction.
It's funny, too. We had one Ukrainian child, at least one, maybe two. But one of the other interesting facts about Cornelius Elementary School is the first language, of course, is English. The second language is Spanish. And the third most spoken language is Russian at Cornelius Elementary.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there you go. So there's a huge Ukrainian and Russian population in the Lake Norman area that you never would know, would you?
No, I never.
No, I didn't
knew that.
know that. No, we had some folks on Saturday at Hope House from the Divan Center, and they are Muslim, and they just finished a holiday, and so whenever there is a holiday, they reach out to the community to do something. Generously donated some school backpacks and things like that. So our community is just becoming just a tapestry of all different cultures, religions, people, and everything.
That's
and
a good way to put it.
It's the time is now to tell people about Jesus.
Yeah,
it is.
Just saying.
Well, it is. It is. And we wouldn't want to give anybody the impression that if their particular family was not strong believers at that point, that somehow they wouldn't be welcome. They would be very welcome to sit there and have their child apply to come in. It's a very open setting. And we understand that that the work of God is God's work in people's hearts. It's not ours. What we do is we do communicate the gospel, but we can't, essentially coerce it on anyone. Nor would we try if we thought we could. But if there is a child that you know of, or a family that you think could benefit from this ministry, just have them reach out to David or reach out through that CorneliusEarlyScholars.org website.
I just applaud what you're
I
doing.
think it's fabulous. I
Yeah,
really do.
I do
On behalf
too.
of all the littles in this world that are going to grow up to take care of us someday.
That's right.
And that's another part of it too, is we have plans to follow these children.
Good.
All right, because I want to know how it goes,
That's
right? And
right.
so we want to celebrate their successes as they go along. So when they go into kindergarten, then when they move on into middle school and high school, and when they graduate, we want to see these kids really flourish and really feel great
Very
about the
cool.
fact that we gave them that boost they needed
That's
to
right.
get in the race. And so it's
And to create that safe
to
space
give
they
the
can always
boost
come
to the
back
parents,
to.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, because it's all about the whole family.
That's right.
The child will be successful if the family is
Yeah,
successful.
that's right.
And it's
Well, we
it's
want
a
to thank you
spreading
so
problem.
much for
Thank
being our
you so
guest here
much.
today on Community Center.
this
This has
was
been
wonderful.
wonderful. I wish you the best of luck, a great, safe, happy
And you
year.
have a wonderful time with your daughter.
Thank you. I plan to.
Yes,
That's
we
absolutely-
will be praying
Thank
for
you.
you and that new granddaughter.
And little Sassy.
Yes, little Sassy. There you go, little Sassy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We'll see you next week.
Serving you better than ever before. WSIC, Statesville. W290DK Mooresville. W264CU, Statesville.